My chosen one, pause everything for a moment, because what you are about to hear is not ordinary, and it is not random. This is an emergency from heaven. Right now, at this exact second, Archangel Michael is speaking your name. Yes, your name. Not someone else's. Not a general message for the crowd. This is personal, precise, and divinely directed straight to you. And here is what makes this moment so critical. There is a window, a short and sacred window. And once it closes, this message will not return in the same way again. There is a reason you were guided here. Out of billions of people, something aligned in the unseen realm to bring you to this exact moment. You may have been scrolling, distracted, or even feeling lost, but heaven interrupted your path. This is not coincidence. It is intervention. And the urgency you feel in your spirit right now, that is not fear. That is recognition. Something deep within you knows this message matters. Listen carefully, because time is not standing still. There are forces moving behind the scenes, things you cannot yet see, but they are real. Archangel Michael, the warrior of light, does not step forward without reason. He is not sent unless there is something critical at stake, something involving your life, your path, and even your protection. And right now, he is stepping forward for you. You were not meant to miss this. In fact, there were moments when you almost did. Think about it, the times you hesitated, the seconds where you could have clicked away, the distractions that tried to pull you off course. But you're still here. That alone is a sign. Something greater held your attention. Something beyond logic whispered, "Stay." That whisper that pulled, that is the divine calling your spirit to awaken. This message carries a revelation that has been hidden until now. Not because it wasn't important before, but because you were not ready to receive it. But now, something has shifted. Something has opened. And heaven has decided that this is the moment you must hear it. There is also something else you need to understand. This is not just about information. This is about activation. The moment you truly receive what is being said, something begins to change within you. Your awareness sharpens. Your intuition strengthens. And the protection of Archangel Michael begins to move in ways you may not even fully understand yet. But here is the truth that cannot be ignored. The window is short. This message carries urgency because delay can cost clarity. Distraction can weaken awareness. And missing this moment could mean missing a warning that was meant to shield you. So do not treat this lightly. Do not brush it off as just another message. This is a divine interruption, a sacred alert sent directly to your spirit. You are being called for a reason, and in the next moments, everything will begin to unfold. Stay with this. Do not leave. Because what comes next will reveal why your name was spoken and why heaven could not wait any longer to reach you. There was a silence that surrounded your life for a long time, a kind of stillness that made you question whether heaven was truly listening. You prayed, you wondered, you waited, and yet there were moments when it felt like no answer came. But what you did not see, what you could not hear, was that heaven was never silent. It was watching. It was preparing. And now, that silence has been broken with urgency. At this very moment, something has shifted in the spiritual realm. This is no small or ordinary shift. It is the kind of movement that causes divine messengers to step forward without delay. Archangel Michael does not appear without purpose, and he does not speak without divine authority. When he steps in, it means that something critical has reached its appointed time. You may have felt it before this message even began. A strange sense that something was about to change. Perhaps an unexplainable restlessness, a feeling that things around you were not as they seemed. That feeling was not your imagination. It was your spirit picking up on a shift that had already begun in the unseen. Heaven had been observing every detail of your journey, every struggle you endured, every tear you hid, every moment when you felt alone. None of it went unnoticed. But there are times when observation turns into intervention, when watching is no longer enough. And this is one of those moments. There is a reason why this message carries the weight of urgency. It is because something has reached a tipping point. A decision hath been made in the higher realms, and it involves you directly. This is not about chance or coincidence. This is about divine timing aligning perfectly with your life. For a long time, certain truths were kept from you, not to harm you, but to protect you. You were being prepared, shaped, and strengthened for this exact moment. Because what is about to be revealed is not something you could have handled before. But now you are ready. Now, your spirit is strong enough to receive it. Archangel Michael is stepping forward as both a messenger and a protector. His presence signals that there are forces at play that require immediate attention. Not everything around you is as it appears on the surface. There are hidden layers, unseen intentions, and spiritual dynamics that are now coming into focus. You may be wondering why now. The answer is simple, yet powerful. Because the time for waiting has ended. The time for not knowing has ended. Heaven is no longer holding back what you need to understand. The veil is being lifted, and clarity is being released. This is the moment when everything begins to make sense, even the confusion you carried for so long. Pieces of your life that once felt disconnected will start to align. The struggles that seemed meaningless will reveal their purpose, and the questions that lingered in your heart will finally begin to find answers. But with this clarity comes responsibility. Once you see the truth, you cannot unsee it. Once you hear this message, you cannot pretend you never received it. This is why the urgency is so real. Heaven is not only revealing something to you, it is calling you to respond. There is also something deeper happening beneath the surface. This is not just about your awareness. It is about your positioning. You are being positioned for protection, for understanding, and for a decision that may change the direction of your life. And this positioning must happen now, not later. You were chosen to hear this because you are capable of handling what comes next. Even if you doubt yourself, even if you feel uncertain, heaven does not make mistakes. If your name has been called, it is because you are ready. So stay alert. Stay present. Do not let your mind drift or your attention fade. Because what is about to be revealed next is deeply personal. It goes beyond general guidance. It touches something specific, something connected to your life in a way that cannot be ignored. The silence has been broken for a reason. And now, the message is moving closer to its core, where your name is not just known, but spoken with purpose. The next revelation will show you exactly what was said about you in the courts of heaven. Beloved soul, there is something you must understand now, something so profound that it may shake you to your core if you truly allow it to settle into your spirit. Your name has been spoken in the courts of heaven. This was not a whisper carried by chance, and it was not a distant mention lost among millions. No, your name was called with intention, with authority, and with divine focus. And when Archangel Michael speaks your name, it means that heaven itself has turned its attention toward you. Imagine this for a moment. In a realm beyond what your eyes can see, where truth is not hidden and nothing is misunderstood, your life has been examined. Every step you have taken, every decision you have made, every hidden struggle you thought no one noticed, it has all been seen clearly. There is no confusion there, no deception, no false appearances, only truth. And in that place of truth, your name rose above the silence. This is not something that happens lightly. There are moments in the divine order when a life reaches a critical point, when something must be addressed, revealed, or corrected. And in that moment, heaven responds. That moment has come for you. You are not being overlooked. You are being acknowledged. But here is where it becomes even more powerful. When your name was spoken, it was not just for observation, it was for decision. Something hath been set into motion. A spiritual decision concerning your path, your protection, and your awareness has already been made. You are not waiting for something to happen. It has already begun. You may feel a mix of emotions rising within you right now. Curiosity, fear, anticipation, even disbelief. That is natural, because a part of you recognizes the weight of what is being said. A part of you knows this is not just another message passing by. This is something that touches your reality in a direct and undeniable way. Archangel Michael stands as a witness and a protector in this moment. His presence means that what was spoken about you carries both urgency and purpose. There are things connected to your life that require divine attention, and now that attention has arrived, there is also something else you must not ignore. When your name is spoken in heaven, it creates a response not only in the divine realm but also in the spiritual forces around you. Some forces move in alignment with it, calling, bringing protection, clarity, and guidance. But other forces, those that thrive in confusion and secrecy, begin to resist. They do not want you to become aware. They do not want you to understand what hath been revealed. This is why you may have felt unusual resistance recently. Distractions increasing, doubts becoming louder, situations around you feeling uncertain or even tense. These are not random occurrences. They are reactions to what has already been declared about you. But listen carefully, this is not a moment to fear. This is a moment to awaken. Because when heaven speaks your name, it is not to harm you. It is to prepare you. It is to protect you. It is to bring you into alignment with what is true. You are being given insight that many never receive. You are being called into awareness at a time when it matters most. And the fact that you are still here, still listening, still holding on to every word, is proof that your spirit is responding. Now, something within you must make a choice. Will you dismiss this as imagination, or will you receive it as revelation? Will you turn away, or will you lean in and listen even more closely? Because what comes next will not only confirm why your name was spoken, it will reveal something that has been hidden in your immediate surroundings. Before moving forward, take this moment seriously. Let it settle within you. This is not just a message, it is a calling. If you feel this stirring deep in your spirit, then do not stay silent. Type "I receive the calling" in the comments if this message is speaking directly to you. Blessing code 919 has just been released over your life. And as this truth reaches your heart, understand this: when heaven calls your name, it also invites you to take part in something greater. This message is not here by accident. It is being carried across the world so that the right souls can hear it at the right time, and you can help that light travel further. Here are 3 sacred ways you can step into this mission right now. The moment you feel the fire of this message within you, know that you are being invited to sow into fertile ground. Scripture declares, "Give, and it will be given unto you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over." This is not just a verse. It is God speaking directly into your moment. As you release your seed through Super Thanks or through the PayPal link in the description or QR code, You are opening a river that carries this message to souls who are still waiting in darkness. Say within yourself, I am stepping into divine alignment through my giving, and act on it now. This is your moment to respond, not later. As the call of your name echoes in your spirit, remember that light must be carried to those who cannot yet see. The word says, you are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. This is your chance to lift that light higher. Through your giving, whether by super thanks or PayPal, you are helping this message reach hearts that are crying out for truth. Declare boldly, I am a vessel of God's light, and let your action follow your faith. Do not delay, because obedience in this moment unlocks blessings you cannot yet imagine. Now that you have heard your name spoken, understand that this is also a call to partnership with heaven's work. Whoever sows generously will also reap generously, the Lord says, and this promise is alive right now. As you give through super thanks with the PayPal link provided, you are not just supporting a message, you are becoming part of a divine assignment. Speak this over yourself. I am chosen to advance God's message, and step forward without hesitation. This is a prophetic act, and your obedience will echo far beyond what you can see. There is something you have not fully seen yet, something that has been quietly present in your environment, waiting, observing, influencing in ways so subtle that it almost escaped your awareness. But now, that veil is beginning to lift. This is why Archangel Michael stepped forward with urgency, because what surrounds you is no longer something that can remain hidden. Your home, the place that is meant to be your sanctuary, your place of rest and safety, carries an energy that has shifted. This does not mean you are in immediate physical danger, but it does mean that something spiritual, something unseen, has attached itself to your space or has been allowed entry through unnoticed doors. These doors are not always physical. Sometimes they are emotional. Sometimes they are tied to past connections, unresolved situations, or even the presence of certain individuals who have crossed your threshold. Think back for a moment. Have you felt a change in the atmosphere where you live? A heaviness that you cannot explain, a tension that lingers even in silence, a feeling that something is just not right. These are not random sensations. Your spirit has been trying to alert you, trying to make you aware that something beneath the surface needs attention. Archangel Michael is revealing this not to cause fear, but to awaken your discernment. Because once you become aware, you are no longer vulnerable in the same way. Awareness shifts your position. It gives you authority where there was once uncertainty. There may be objects, memories, or even energies tied to your past that have not been fully released. Sometimes, what lingers in a home is not visible to the eye, but it is deeply felt by the spirit. Old conflicts, unresolved pain, or connections that were never properly closed can leave an imprint. And over time, that imprint begins to affect your peace, your clarity, and even your decisions. But there is something more specific that must be understood. This is not only about what has been left behind, it is also about what has been allowed in. Not everything that enters your space comes with good intention. There are presences, influences, and even people who carry energies that do not align with your well-being. And recently, one of these influences has grown stronger. You may not have recognized it immediately. It could have come in quietly, disguised as something harmless or even familiar. But now, it has reached a point where it can no longer remain concealed. This is why this message is urgent, because ignoring it would allow that influence to continue unchecked. Pay attention to the patterns around you. Sudden arguments without clear cause, unusual fatigue, a lack of motivation, or even a sense of being watched or unsettled without reason. These are all signs that something is not aligned. These are signals, not coincidences. But here is the truth that must ground you in this moment. You are not powerless. In fact, the very reason this is being revealed to you is because you have the authority to shift it. Archangel Michael stands as your protector, not as a distant observer. His presence means that you are not facing this alone. This is a moment of reclaiming your space. Your home is meant to reflect peace, clarity, and protection. It is meant to be a place where your spirit can rest without disturbance. And anything that disrupts that must be recognized and addressed. Do not ignore what you have been feeling. Do not dismiss it as imagination or overthinking. Your awareness is being sharpened for a reason. What you sense is real, and now you are being given the insight to understand it. There is also a connection forming between what is in your space and what is about to be revealed next. This is not an isolated situation. It is part of a larger picture, one that involves a person, a truth, and a revelation that has been building behind the scenes. Stay alert. Stay present. Because what comes next will bring clarity to what has been hidden, not just in your home, but in the intentions of someone connected to it. The truth is closer than you think, and it is about to step out of the shadows. There is a presence connected to your life that you must now see clearly, a presence that has remained hidden behind masks, behind words that did not match intentions, behind actions that seemed harmless on the surface but carried something deeper underneath. This is the moment where truth begins to rise, and it cannot be stopped any longer. The revelation you are about to receive is not random. It is directly tied to why Archangel Michael has stepped forward with such urgency. The message has been building toward this point because there is a woman whose role in your life has not been fully understood. She may be someone close to you, someone you trusted, or even someone who appeared at just the right time when you needed support or connection. But not everything about her presence has been genuine. There have been layers, hidden motives, and intentions that were not aligned with your highest good. This does not mean that every interaction you had with her was false, but it does mean that something within her spirit has been operating from a place of imbalance. There is a duality in her energy, one side that appears kind, supportive, even caring, and another side that carries jealousy, control, or hidden resentment. This duality has created confusion, making it difficult for you to fully recognize what was happening. Think back to the moments when something felt off. Times when her words did not sit right with your spirit, even if they sounded acceptable on the surface. Times when you felt drained after being around her, or when situations seemed to become more complicated rather than clearer. Those moments were not coincidences. They were signals. Archangel Michael is bringing this to your awareness now because the time for hidden truths has ended. What was concealed is beginning to surface, and you will start to notice it more clearly. Conversations may reveal inconsistencies. Actions may no longer align with words. And behaviors that once seemed small may begin to form a pattern that is impossible to ignore. This exposure is not about creating fear or conflict. It is about clarity. Because as long as something remains hidden, it has power over you. But the moment it is seen, that power begins to break. You cannot protect yourself from what you do not recognize, and that is why this revelation is necessary. There is also something important to understand about timing. This truth could not have been revealed to you earlier because you might not have been ready to accept it. You may have dismissed it, defended her, or even doubted your own intuition. But now, your awareness has grown. Your spirit is stronger, more discerning, and more capable of seeing beyond appearances. You may feel a sense of shock as things begin to unfold. You may question how you did not see it sooner. But do not turn that into self-blame. The truth is that some things are hidden by design until the right moment of revelation arrives. And this is that moment. At the same time, it is important that you do not react impulsively. Awareness does not mean immediate confrontation. It means observation, understanding, and careful movement. Archangel Michael is not only revealing the truth, he is guiding you on how to handle it with wisdom. There may be a need to create distance, to set boundaries, or to simply step back and allow the truth to reveal itself fully without interference. Not every situation requires direct conflict. Sometimes, the most powerful response is quiet awareness and intentional separation. But make no mistake, this exposure is happening. Whether slowly or suddenly, the truth will become undeniable. And when it does, you will see everything with a new clarity that cannot be reversed. This is also connected to your protection. Because once you see clearly, you can make choices that align with your well-being. You can remove yourself from harmful influences. You can reclaim your peace. And you can move forward without the weight of hidden deception. Stay grounded in this moment. Do not let emotions take control before understanding is complete. Because what is being revealed is only one piece of a larger picture. There is still more to uncover, and what comes next will help you recognize the signs that led you here all along. Signs that prove this message was always meant for you. There is a reason this message found you, and it is deeper than chance, deeper than curiosity, deeper than a random moment of attention. You were chosen to hear this, and the signs have been surrounding you long before you even realized it. Now, as everything begins to unfold, those signs are becoming impossible to ignore. You may have noticed patterns in your life that felt unusual, moments that repeated themselves in ways you could not fully explain. Perhaps you kept seeing the same numbers again and again, or hearing similar phrases from different people, or encountering situations that felt strangely familiar. These were not coincidences. They were signals, gentle at first, then stronger, guiding you toward this exact moment. Archangel Michael often works through these subtle signs before stepping forward in a direct way. It is a way of preparing your spirit, of opening your awareness little by little so that when the truth finally arrives, you are able to receive it. And now, you are here, listening, understanding, and beginning to connect everything together. Think about the inner feelings you have had recently. That sense that something was shifting, even if you could not define it. That quiet voice inside you that said, "Pay attention," even when everything around you seemed normal. That was not your imagination. That was your spirit responding to something real, something that was already in motion. You may have also experienced moments of isolation, times when you felt separated from others or misunderstood. While those moments may have been difficult, they served a purpose. They created space for you to hear more clearly, to sense more deeply, and to recognize what truly aligns with your spirit and what does not. Not everyone around you is meant to walk with you into this level of awareness. Another sign that you were chosen is your ability to feel what others overlook. You notice the small details. You sense when something is not right, even if there is no visible reason. You pick up on energies, on emotions, on shifts that others might dismiss. This sensitivity is not a weakness, it is a gift. And it is one of the reasons this message has reached you. Archangel Michael recognizes this in you. That is why his presence feels familiar rather than distant. There is a connection there, one that has been growing over time, even if you were not fully aware of it. And now, that connection is becoming more active, more direct, more undeniable. You may also recall moments when you were protected in ways that did not make sense at the time. situations you avoided without knowing why, decisions you made suddenly that later turned out to be the right ones, or paths you did not take that ended up leading you away from harm. Those were not lucky breaks. They were acts of guidance, quiet interventions that kept you aligned with your purpose. Even your struggles were part of this preparation. The challenges you faced were not there to break you, but to strengthen your ability to discern, to endure, and to recognize truth when it appears. Without those experiences, you might not have been ready for this moment. But now you are. There is also a reason why this message resonates with you on a deeper level. It does not feel empty or distant. It feels personal, almost as if it is speaking directly into your situation. That is because it is. This is not a general message meant for everyone. It is reaching those who are ready, those who are open, those who are meant to hear it. You may have questioned yourself in the past, doubted your instincts, or second-guessed what you felt. But now, those doubts are beginning to fade. Clarity is replacing confusion. Understanding is replacing uncertainty. And with that clarity comes a sense of responsibility. Because being chosen does not just mean receiving. It means responding. It means taking what you are becoming aware of and allowing it to guide your actions. It means trusting what you feel, even when it challenges what you once believed. You are not here by accident. You are here because something within you was ready to awaken. And now that it has, there is no going back to not knowing. Stay focused. Stay aware. Because what comes next will reveal the deeper battle that has been unfolding around you. A battle you did not see, but one that has been influencing more than you realize. There is something you must now face with courage and clarity, something that has been unfolding around you quietly, persistently, and with intention. You have not just been moving through ordinary life situations. You have been standing in the middle of a spiritual battle. Not one you could see with your eyes, but one you have felt in your energy, in your thoughts, and in the shifting patterns of your life. This battle did not begin today. It had been building over time, layer by layer, moment by moment. And the reason you did not fully recognize it is because it does not always appear as something obvious. It disguises itself through confusion, through emotional weight, through sudden changes that seem to have no clear cause. But now, as your awareness sharpens, you are beginning to see it for what it truly is. Archangel Michael stands in this moment not just as a messenger, but as a warrior. His presence is not gentle by accident, it is powerful by purpose. When he steps into a situation, it means that something requires defense, protection, and divine authority. And right now, that protection is being extended toward you. You may have felt the signs of this battle without knowing how to define them. Sudden waves of doubt that seemed to come from nowhere. Thoughts that did not feel like your own. Emotional heaviness that lingered longer than it should have. Situations that repeated themselves in frustrating cycles, as if something was trying to keep you stuck. These were not random struggles. They were part of a larger conflict. There are forces that thrive in keeping you unaware, in keeping you distracted, in keeping you from stepping into clarity. Because the moment you become aware, the moment you begin to see truth clearly, their influence weakens. And that is exactly why this message is reaching you now. But understand this. This is not a battle you are meant to fight alone. In fact, you were never meant to carry it by yourself. The presence of Archangel Michael is a sign that divine protection has already been activated. You are not exposed. You are being covered, guided, and strengthened in ways that go beyond what you can see. There is also a reason why the intensity of certain situations in your life may have increased recently. As awareness rises, resistance often rises with it. The closer you get to truth, the more pressure may seem to build around you. But this pressure is not a sign of defeat. It is a sign that something is shifting. You are not losing control. You are gaining clarity. This battle is not about overpowering you. It is about testing your awareness, your ability to discern what is real and what is not. It is about pushing you to either remain in confusion or step fully into understanding. And now, you are being given the opportunity to choose. There is something powerful that happens when you recognize the battle. You stop reacting blindly. You stop absorbing everything around you without question. You begin to observe, to understand, to respond with intention instead of impulse. And that shift changes everything. Archangel Michael is guiding you toward that shift. His role is not just to defend, but to reveal, to show you what has been hidden, to expose what has been disguised, and to strengthen your position so that you are no longer vulnerable in the same way. You may also notice that certain people, environments, or situations feel different now. What once felt normal may now feel unsettling. What once felt acceptable may now feel misaligned. This is not because everything has suddenly changed. It is because you have. Your awareness is rising, and with it comes a clearer sense of what belongs in your life and what does not. This battle is also connected to the truth that is being revealed about the woman mentioned earlier. Her presence, her influence, and her actions are not separate from this larger picture. There is a connection there, one that will become clearer as you continue to understand what is unfolding. But for now, focus on this. You are not powerless, and you are not alone. You are being guided through this with precision and purpose. Every realization you have, every moment of clarity you gain, is a step toward reclaiming your peace and your strength. Do not let fear take hold. Fear clouds your vision. It weakens your ability to see clearly. Instead, stand in awareness. Stand in understanding. Because the more clearly you see, the less power anything hidden can have over you. Stay grounded. Stay alert. Because what comes next will reveal why time itself has become such a critical factor in this moment, and why the window you are in cannot be ignored. There is a reason this message began with urgency, a reason it felt like something could slip away if you did not pay attention immediately. This is not just a dramatic expression. It is a spiritual reality. You are standing in a narrow window of time, a moment where awareness, action, and alignment must come together without delay. And that window is not open forever. The 3 minutes is not simply about a number on a clock. It represents a closing opportunity, a divine moment where clarity is being offered before conditions begin to shift again. In the spiritual realm, timing is everything. There are moments when truth becomes accessible, when insight flows freely, when protection can be activated with precision. But when those moments pass, things can become clouded again, distractions can return, and the urgency fades. Right now, you are inside that moment. Archangel Michael is not speaking casually. His message carries the weight of divine timing. He is drawing your attention to the fact that what you do with this awareness matters, and it matters now. Delay is not neutral. It can create distance between you and the clarity that is being offered. Think about how many times in life you felt a strong inner knowing, a moment where something became clear, but you hesitated. You waited, you questioned, you allowed time to pass. And as time passed, that clarity began to fade. Doubt crept in. Distractions took over. And what once felt certain became uncertain again. This is exactly what this moment is trying to prevent. This is why the urgency is so strong. because what you are receiving right now is pure, unfiltered awareness. It has not yet been diluted by overthinking or external influence. It is direct, it is clear, and it is meant to guide you while it is still strong. There is also something happening beyond your immediate perception. As this window remains open, alignment is possible. Decisions made in this state of awareness carry greater impact. Actions taken now have a ripple effect that extends further than you can see. But as the window closes, that alignment becomes harder to access. Archangel Michael is urging you not to let this pass without response. Not because you are being forced, but because you are being given an opportunity. An opportunity to step into clarity, to shift your position, to move in alignment with what has been revealed. You may feel a sense of pressure as you hear this, but understand that this pressure is not meant to overwhelm you. It is meant to awaken you. It is meant to bring your full attention into the present moment, where your awareness is sharpest and your ability to respond is strongest. This is also why distractions may suddenly appear. You might feel the urge to look away, to pause, to tell yourself you will come back to this later. But that is exactly how these moments are lost. Later does not carry the same energy as now. Later does not hold the same clarity as this exact second. Stay here. Stay present. Because this is where the shift happens. There is something else you must understand about this window. It is connected to everything that has been revealed so far. The hidden influence in your environment. The truth about the woman. The battle you have been in, all of it is converging into this moment of decision. This is where awareness turns into action. You are not being asked to do something complicated. You are being asked to acknowledge what you now see, to trust what you now feel, and to take that awareness seriously. Even a small step in alignment can create a powerful shift. As this moment reaches its peak, do not let hesitation take over. Let clarity guide you. Let awareness lead you. Because this window, once closed, will not return in the same way. If you feel the urgency of this moment in your spirit, do not ignore it. Type IACT now in the comments if you are ready to receive and respond. Blessing code 333 has just been activated over your path. And as you stand in this narrow window of divine timing, understand this. What flows through you now is not meant to stop with you. It is meant to reach others who are still waiting for their moment of clarity, just like you once were. Here are 3 sacred ways you can move with this urgency and become part of that flow, as the window of time stands open before you. This is your moment to sow into something eternal. The Lord declares, while the earth remains, seed time and harvest shall not cease. This is not just a principle. It is a living promise speaking into your present action. As you release your seed through Super Thanks or through the PayPal link and QR code provided, you are planting into fertile spiritual ground that multiplies beyond what you can see. Say it boldly, I sow in divine timing, and act without delay. This is your appointed moment. In this urgent hour, when truth is being revealed and light is breaking through darkness, you are being called to carry that light further. Scripture says those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. As you give through Super Thanks or through PayPal, you are refreshing souls who are searching for answers, just as you once were. Declare within yourself, I am a channel of God's provision, and step forward now. Do not wait for another moment. This one is already anointed. Now that you understand the importance of timing, recognize that your action is part of a greater movement. To everything there is a season, the Lord says, and this is your season to respond. Through your giving, you are aligning yourself with the flow of this message, helping it reach those who are still in silence. Speak this over your life. I move when God calls, and follow through immediately. This is not just support. It is obedience, and your obedience will open doors you did not even know were waiting. Now that you have seen, now that you have heard, and now that your awareness has been awakened, there is something that cannot be delayed any longer. This is the moment where understanding must turn into action. Not tomorrow, not later, not when it feels more comfortable, now. Because clarity without action fades, and what has been revealed to you is too important to be ignored. The first thing you must do is become fully present within yourself. Quiet the noise around you, even if only for a few moments. Step away from distractions, from outside voices, from anything that pulls your focus away. This is not about isolation. It is about alignment. When your mind becomes still, your awareness sharpens, and what you have received begins to settle into something deeper than just words. Archangel Michael is guiding you to reclaim your inner clarity, because everything you need to recognize, to decide, and to act is already forming within you. But if you remain distracted, if you allow your attention to scatter, the clarity becomes harder to hold on to. Next, you must acknowledge the truth you have just received. Do not minimize it. Do not try to rationalize it away. If something within you felt a strong reaction, whether it was discomfort, recognition, or even resistance, that reaction is important. It is pointing toward something real. Accept that something in your life requires attention, and give yourself permission to see it without denial. There is also a need to observe your surroundings with new awareness. Look at your environment, your relationships, your daily patterns. Notice what feels aligned and what does not. Notice where your energy feels steady and where it feels drained. You are not looking for perfection. You are looking for truth. And truth often reveals itself in the smallest details. Archangel Michael is not asking you to react impulsively. He is asking you to respond with awareness. This means taking a step back where necessary, creating space where boundaries are needed, and allowing clarity to guide your next moves rather than emotion. Regarding the woman whose presence is being exposed, do not rush into confrontation. This is not about creating conflict. It is about understanding. Continue to observe. Let patterns reveal themselves fully. Truth has a way of making itself undeniable when you give it time to surface completely. Your role right now is to remain aware and grounded, not reactive. At the same time, there are things you must begin to release. This could be emotional attachments, lingering doubts, or even habits that keep you connected to confusion. Holding on to what no longer aligns with you will only delay your clarity. Letting go is not always easy, but it is necessary for movement. You must also protect your space both physically and spiritually. This does not require anything complex. It begins with intention. Set a clear boundary within yourself that your space is meant for peace, clarity, and alignment. Even a simple, focused intention can shift the energy around you when it is held with certainty. Another step you must take is to trust what you feel, even if it challenges what you once believed. Your intuition is not working against you. It is working for you. And now that your awareness has been heightened, that intuition will become even more precise. Doubt may still try to appear, but you must not let it override what you clearly sense. There is also power in stillness. You do not have to solve everything at once. You do not have to force answers. Some things will become clear simply by allowing yourself to observe without interference. Patience, in this moment, is not delay, it is wisdom. Archangel Michael is standing with you as you take these steps. His presence is not distant. It is active. It is guiding you through each moment of clarity, each realization, each decision. You are not navigating this alone, even if it may feel that way at times. And finally, understand this. What you do now sets the tone for what comes next. Every small action, every moment of awareness, every decision to stay aligned rather than distracted builds momentum. This is how change begins. Not through one dramatic move, but through consistent, conscious steps. Do not underestimate the power of what you are doing right now. You are shifting from unawareness to awareness, from confusion to clarity, from passivity to intention. And that shift changes everything. Stay with this process. Stay grounded in what you now know. Because what comes next will reveal the transformation that begins when you fully align with this message, a shift that will affect more than just this moment. Something has already begun within you, even if you cannot fully explain it yet. It is subtle, but it is real. It is the shift that occurs when awareness replaces confusion, when truth begins to rise above illusion, and when your spirit aligns with what has been revealed. This is not a distant transformation that may or may not happen. It is already in motion. The moment you started to truly listen, the moment you allowed this message to reach beyond your mind and into your spirit, a change was activated. It may feel quiet at first, almost unnoticeable, but do not mistake quiet for weak. The most powerful shifts often begin in stillness, beneath the surface, where they can take root without interference. Archangel Michael is not only revealing truth to you, he is guiding you through this transformation. His presence is a sign that the shift is protected, that it is not something fragile that can easily be lost. Once awareness reaches this level, it does not simply disappear. It evolves, it strengthens, and it begins to influence every part of your life. You may start to notice changes in how you think. Situations that once confused you may now feel clear. Decisions that once felt difficult may now feel more straightforward. This is because your perspective is changing. You are no longer seeing things only from the surface. You are beginning to see what lies beneath. There will also be a shift in how you feel around certain people and environments. What once felt comfortable may now feel unsettling. What once felt normal may now feel misaligned. This is not because your world is falling apart. It is because your awareness is rising above what no longer serves you. Do not resist the shift. It may feel unfamiliar at times, even uncomfortable, but it is leading you towards something greater. Growth often requires leaving behind what once felt safe in order to step into what is true. Archangel Michael is helping you navigate this transition with clarity and strength. You are not being pushed into chaos. You are being guided into alignment. Every realization you have, every moment where something clicks into place, is part of this process. You may also begin to see the truth about the woman more clearly now. Not through assumptions or emotional reactions, but through observation and understanding. Patterns will become more visible. Intentions will become easier to recognize. And what once felt uncertain will begin to make sense. This clarity is part of your protection. Because when you see clearly, you can choose wisely. You can set boundaries without guilt. You can create distance without fear. You can move forward without carrying the weight of confusion. There is also a deeper layer to this shift. It is not only changing how you see others, it is changing how you see yourself. You are beginning to recognize your own strength, your own awareness, your own ability to navigate situations that once felt overwhelming. You are no longer the same person you were before this message reached you. And with this new awareness comes a new level of responsibility. Not in a heavy or burdensome way, but in a conscious way. You are now aware of things you cannot ignore. You see patterns you cannot unsee. And that awareness calls for intentional action. This does not mean you have to rush. It does not mean you have to make drastic decisions all at once. It simply means you move forward with clarity instead of confusion, with intention instead of uncertainty. There is also a sense of release that comes with this shift. As you begin to let go of what no longer aligns with you, you may feel lighter. The tension that once surrounded certain situations may begin to fade. The heaviness that once weighed on your spirit may begin to lift. This is how you know the shift is real. Archangel Michael remains present through all of this, not as a distant observer, but as a guide and protector. His role is to ensure that this transformation leads you toward clarity, not confusion, toward strength, not fear. You are stepping into a new level of awareness, and with it comes a new way of moving through your life. You are no longer reacting blindly. You are responding with understanding. You are no longer absorbing everything around you without question. You are discerning, choosing, and aligning. This shift will continue to unfold, layer by layer, moment by moment. And as it does, you will begin to see just how much it changes, not only your current situation, but the direction of your future. Stay grounded in this awareness. Stay connected to what you now understand. Because what comes next will bring a final warning, a closing message that must be heard before this moment passes completely. Here is one last thing that must be spoken before this moment begins to close, one final layer of truth that cannot remain unaddressed. You have come this far for a reason. You have listened, you have felt the shift, and you have begun to understand what is unfolding around you. But now, you are standing at a threshold, a point where awareness must be sealed with intention. This is the final warning, not to frighten you, but to anchor you in what you now know. Because once this moment passes, the clarity you feel right now may not remain as strong. The world around you will continue as it always has. Distractions will return. Voices will try to influence your thinking, and the intensity of this awareness may begin to fade if you do not hold on to it. Archangel Michael is speaking now with precision, not repetition. Every word carries purpose. This is not a continuation. It is a sealing. A moment where everything you have received must be acknowledged as real, as relevant, and as something that requires your conscious attention moving forward. You have seen the signs. You have felt the shift. You have recognized the presence of something hidden, something that required your awareness. You have begun to see the truth about the influence around you, about the woman whose role has not been what it seemed, about the subtle battle that has been unfolding. None of this was revealed by accident. But here is what you must not do. Do not return to blindness. There is a tendency, once a moment of clarity passes, to slowly fall back into old patterns, to question what you felt, to minimize what you understood, to tell yourself that perhaps it was not as significant as it seemed. That is how awareness is lost. Not suddenly, but gradually, through doubt and distraction. This is the warning. Do not let that happen. What you have received is not meant to be temporary. It is meant to stay with you, to guide your decisions, to shape how you move forward. Even when the intensity of this moment fades, the truth remains. And it is your responsibility to hold on to that truth. Archangel Michael is not leaving you unprotected. His presence does not disappear when this message ends. But your awareness must remain active. Protection is strongest when it is combined with clarity. When you see clearly, you move differently. You choose differently. You respond differently. There will be moments ahead where you will be tested. Situations where you may be tempted to ignore what you now know. Interactions where the truth about that woman may become even more visible, and you will have to decide how to respond. Moments where your environment may try to pull you back into old patterns. In those moments, remember this. Remember how this felt. Remember the clarity, the certainty, the quiet knowing that something real was being revealed to you. A feeling is not something to dismiss, it is something to trust. You do not need to prove anything to anyone. You do not need to explain your awareness to those who do not understand it. This is your journey, your clarity, your responsibility. And sometimes, the most powerful actions are the ones taken quietly, without announcement. There is also something important about timing. Just as this moment opened at the right time, there will be moments ahead where action will be required. Not forced, not rushed, but precise. You will feel it when it comes. And when it does, you must not hesitate. Hesitation is what allows clarity to slip away. Archangel Michael has guided you to this point so that you are not caught unaware, so that you are not moving blindly, so that you are not influenced by what is hidden without recognizing it. This is your advantage now, your awareness. Do not trade that awareness for comfort. Do not ignore it because it feels easier. Truth is not always comfortable, but it is always necessary. As this message reaches its final moments, understand that this is not an ending. It is a transition. What you do next is what matters. How you carry this awareness forward is what determines the impact it will have on your life. Hold on to what you now know. Stay grounded in it. Stay aware. Because what follows is not another warning, but something different, something that will bring you into a place of peace, reassurance, and understanding of the protection that surrounds you, even as this moment comes to a close. Now, take a deep breath and allow everything you have just received to settle within you. The urgency, the warnings, the revelations, they were necessary. They were meant to awaken you, to open your eyes, to bring you into alignment with what has been hidden. But this moment, this final moment, is not about urgency. It is about peace. Because after everything that has been revealed, there is something you must understand above all else. You are protected. You were never alone in this. Not in the confusion, not in the uncertainty, not even in the moments when you felt disconnected or unaware. Archangel Michael has been present long before this message reached you, watching, guiding, and intervening in ways you may not have even noticed at the time. And now, that protection has become clear to you. The storm you were moving through, the hidden influences, the uncertainty surrounding the woman, the unseen battle, none of it was beyond control. It only seemed that way because it had not yet been revealed. But now that it has come into the light, it no longer holds the same power. This is what awareness does. It transforms fear into understanding. It replaces confusion with clarity. And most importantly, it reminds you that you are not powerless in your own life. You may still have decisions ahead of you. You may still need to create distance, to set boundaries, or to observe situations more carefully. But you will not be doing these things from a place of fear. You will be doing them from a place of clarity. Archangel Michael stands as a guardian over that clarity. His role is not only to reveal truth, but to ensure that once it is revealed, you are not left vulnerable. His presence is a shield, a constant force that surrounds you whether you see it or not. Feel that for a moment. You are not exposed. You are not unguarded. You are not walking through this alone. Even as this message comes to an end, that protection does not end with it. It continues with you, moving with you into every decision, every interaction, every moment where your awareness is needed. And there is something beautiful about this ending. It is not filled with fear, but with reassurance. Because the purpose of everything you have heard was not to overwhelm you. It was to prepare you, to strengthen you, to bring you into a place where you can move forward with confidence instead of uncertainty. The urgency has passed, but the understanding remains. The warning has been given, but the protection is still active. The message may fade, but the truth stays with you. Now, you can move forward with a calm spirit, knowing that what needed to be revealed has been revealed. What needed to be seen had been seen. And what needed to shift has already begun to shift within you. Carry this peace with you. Let it guide your thoughts, your actions, your decisions. Because when you move from a place of peace, you are no longer reacting. You are leading your own path with clarity and strength. And remember this always. When your name was spoken, it was not just a call to awareness. It was a declaration of protection. If you feel this peace settling into your spirit right now, then do not stay silent. Type "I am protected" in the comments if you receive this message with clarity and calm. Blessing code 1444 has now been released over your life. And as this message gently comes to a close, hear this final call, not as a request, but as a divine invitation aligned with everything you have just received. As peace settles over you and protection surrounds your path, this is the moment to let your response become an offering. The Lord speaks, "Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy," and this word is alive for you right now. When you give through Super Thanks or through the PayPal link and QR code placed in every description, you are planting seeds into a field that carries messages like this to souls still waiting for their awakening. Say within your spirit, "I release my seed into God's work," and act on it now. This is your obedience taking form. As you stand covered and protected, you are not just a receiver, you are a carrier of light. Scripture declares, "Freely you have received, freely give," and this is your moment to let that flow continue. Through your giving, you become a bridge for others to encounter the same clarity and protection that found you today. Declare it boldly, "I am a vessel for God's message," and step forward through Super Thanks or PayPal without hesitation. Heaven honors swift obedience. Now that the message has reached its completion, understand this: your action seals what you have received. Honor the Lord with your substance, and watch how He opens what no one can shut. As you give, you are not losing, you are aligning. You are stepping into a divine exchange that multiplies beyond what you can see. Speak it with faith. "I move as God leads me," and respond immediately. This is not just support. It is a prophetic act, and your obedience will echo into lives you may never meet, but heaven will record.